Welcome back to the channel. We're back in the lab. I hope you are excited as I am for this video. I'm biased, but I think this video is going to be the most valuable, the most exciting video in the entire series thus far, because we're actually going to go into creating the ads. This content for me was very helpful starting out. There are few people, very few people actually, who put the entire process A to Z out there. So the very few people who did it for me, I know it was extremely valuable. Some of it was a little bit outdated. That's not their fault. They created it when it was relevant. And so I'm recreating it for you in 2024. So if you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Justin. I run a company called LeadBrain, which is a full-scale digital marketing company. And I also do consultations for automation and build bots for clients, you name it. But I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm here to show you exactly what I do from A to Z so you can do it yourself. If you're returning to the channel, thank you. Welcome back. Thanks for sticking with me this long. Hopefully you find this valuable. A few of you have reached out to me and told me how valuable the content has been. That's super helpful for me because sometimes I don't know who I'm creating this for, but when people reach out, it really helps me create more content. So thank you. If you like this stuff, like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, whatever you need to do. Now, if you're new to the series, we've created 9 videos now about this entire system. We're creating an AI chatbot. We already did that in video 6. We are creating Facebook ads. We're putting them together to supercharge our lead generation machine and our small business. In this example, in this series, we're using a home service company, a pressure washing company. But if you don't own a home service company, maybe you're a realtor or a lawyer or whatever you are, it doesn't matter. This applies to you. The fundamentals are so universal. So we're going to go over some terminology here, show you some hacks, some things that I learned along the way to help me create content or to help me put these ads together. And yeah, let's hop right into it. I am going to provide this as a handout, and you're actually going to want this handout because I share links to the people I use if there's vendors to create content for me. I also share links to Canva templates, so if you just so happen to be running a pressure washing company, or if you just want to steal the templates so that you can use them yourself for your business and just replace the photos, you can. So if you want this, in the description, there's a link to opt into an email list. I think I say like giveaways. I'm not going to spam you with email. I don't have an upsell. I don't have a marketing campaign. It's just easier for me to provide this to you because once you submit that form, I have it automated where you'll get this email. And I do my best to update the email with all the current content. So let's hop right into it. Let's hop right into the discussion. And I want you to know the end state for this video, because it's going to be a longer video. The end state to this video is we're going to have a complete Facebook/Instagram marketing campaign ready to launch for our business to generate leads. Now, quick disclaimer, I tell everybody this in every one of these videos. These are long technical videos. I highly recommend you watch these videos all the way through. Don't be distracted. Don't be scrolling reels, watching Netflix, washing the dishes. It's everything I do when I watch these long videos. Because if you miss a little piece of it, it can be really frustrating to troubleshoot, and you can be missing a key component to the entire system. And I don't want people reaching out onesies and twosies, hey, I'm having issues, because everything you need is here in these videos. Now, if you do happen to watch it and you're distracted, just make sure you watch it over again while you're going through step by step. And there you go. Now, I'm going to put this disclaimer out there, right? So by making this series, I am not knocking marketing agencies. I'm not trying to poo-poo on any marketing agencies. I run a marketing agency. I sell these services to home service businesses nationwide. There's a time and a place for all these marketing agencies. But what I don't want you to miss out on is running digital marketing campaigns because of 2 reasons. One of 2 reasons, any of them. Either you can't afford a marketing agency because we are expensive, or you don't know how to do it. I don't want you to have those 2 excuses. I want to remove those 2 excuses from your excuses box. And I'm going to show you how to do it today so you no longer have an excuse, because this stuff is really powerful. Like, I don't want you to stop doing your door hangers or your door-to-door sales or your yard signs. I don't want you to stop doing any of that. Don't stop going to trade shows. Keep doing that stuff. But once you start to implement the digital channels into your business and you get good at it, it's way more scalable. You're able to reach so much more people with so much less time, with so much less money, with so much less heartache. For example, if you send somebody to go knock 1,000 doors, in a day, you're probably going to have to pay that person a decent amount of money. They're going to be out in the heat knocking doors. They're going to be tired by the time they get to the end of that neighborhood, and they're probably not going to be able to knock 1,000 doors in a day. Well, on Facebook, you can pay $23 and get in front of 1,000 people. Now, is it the same as a face-to-face sale? Obviously not. But if you get in front of these people enough times, there are people who will opt in on the internet. There are people who will buy this stuff. We're in the Amazon era where everybody wants service at their fingertips. So once you get this in your business, it can make a huge difference. And I'm going to talk theory here. We're going to go over discussion. Don't skip this part. This is super important. And then we'll go into the technicalities here shortly. So what is this? All right. I don't want to come off as being some guru, right? I don't run a Fortune 500 marketing company. I don't have $10 billion in ad spend like some of these marketing agencies claim to have. Some of them probably do. I'm just sharing my experiences with you as I learn them. Because as a small business, not being able to afford a marketing agency, I was able to do some serious damage in my own business and the business of my clients by just applying these fundamentals and seeing success. So this is a comprehensive tutorial how to effectively get you started. Get you started, keyword. Once you make enough money and you get so busy that you can hire a marketing agency, then you should. There is extreme value in marketing agencies. They have a lot of data, but you don't necessarily need to start there. Now, what I want you to do is take this information, apply it in your business, and continue to test and iterate. What do I mean? I mean, don't just take this, do exactly as I do if you run a pressure washing company and run it for 90 days and say, Justin, that didn't work. Well, dude, if you ran it for 90 days and spent $900 and you just left it alone and like every week you didn't audit these ads and try to look for ways that you can improve or test some new ideas, some original ideas of your own, that's not my fault. You should be doing this. This stuff does take management. That's why marketing agencies do what they do. But you don't necessarily need them. You could do it yourself. I'm gonna show you a math problem here in a second, just to make it make a little bit of sense. I'm not a mathlete, but I can make a point. Now, save money. Yep, we already talked about. Based on experience, right? I've hired multiple marketing agencies. I spent tens of thousands of dollars having other people run my ads for my real estate business and some other businesses, right? Now, one thing I noticed is that I started off actually running my own ads, and then there was like this black box in my head that I didn't understand. I just thought that they always had the secret sauce. There's something more that I'm missing. And one requirement I had of every ad agency that I hired was that they run the ads in my account. And if you go plan to hire an ad agency, I recommend that you do the same so that you can manage them. But as I hired these ad agencies and I watched them iterate and I watched them create the campaigns and set the interest and set the targeting, I was like, there's no secret sauce. They're doing exactly what I was doing. I just didn't spend enough time doing it myself. I didn't go the distance. So that was enlightening for me as I hired other agencies, and hopefully me sharing that with you is pretty helpful. There are strategies, there are some things that people have figured out with data and some really advanced strategies, but not all that's necessary. There's really no secret sauce. Facebook and Instagram want to make it easier for business owners like you to be able to do this, and they want to make it achievable. So don't think you can't do it. Now, all right, what this is not. I already mentioned this. I'm not teaching you how to run ads like a Fortune 500 company. I'm not sitting here telling you that I am the most experienced marketing agency here on YouTube. Don't care to act like it's something I'm not. I'm here to show you what I've learned, okay? Remember the KISS principle. I mention it again later on in this tutorial, but keep it simple, stupid. You're gonna see these like static ads that we put together, and you'll be like, well, that's like super basic and it kind of looks like crap. Keep it simple. Guess what? It works. Even in the real estate business, people tend to overcomplicate things, especially you technical types. You know who you are. Tend to overcomplicate things. Keep things simple so that you can keep up with it, so that your team can keep up with it, and so that you can replicate it over and over again. Now, here's the math problem I was talking about. If you hire an agency at $1,500 a month and you spend $1,000 a month on ads, let's say you spend $35 a day, and a lead costs you $15 a lead, right? Depending on the industry you're in, that may be a good lead. That may be a good cost per lead. And the agency will tell you, hey, we're getting you a cost per lead of $15. That's why you hire us. We get leads for cheaper. But in reality, they never factor in the management fee into their cost per lead. Your cost per lead is actually $37.50. So say you had a marketing agency and you decided to go out on your own and run these ads, you can actually double the cost of your lead because of your lack of experience and your poor campaign performance and still be coming out $7.50 a head. So if that doesn't encourage you to try this on your own, then I don't know what will. But even if you try this yourself, you're probably gonna come out ahead. So here's some things. I have let's see, what was I talking about here? You have something organic you can iterate on. Yeah, once you set this up, you control this. You own this data. You own the ad account. You own the campaigns. So you can iterate on this. You can test new things. And I've even seen some companies, like I've seen some pressure washing companies who've gotten so good at this because they were doing it at a necessity for their own companies, that they got so good at it that they productized it and sold it to other pressure washing businesses as another service, as another a form of revenue. And it's life-changing money, because if any of you worked with a marketing agency before, you know it's not cheap. I talk about it all the time. $1,500, $2,000 a month in retainers for these ad companies and a percentage of ad spend. It gets really expensive really fast. And so you can be doing the same thing, and you're probably better than the marketing agencies because you own, say, a pressure washing company, and you ran your own ads, and you run ads for your friends, and you run ads for a few people, and you've had success, and you can have all that credibility behind you, and you can sell this to other people. Now, let's get into the nitty-gritty. Budget recommendations. What do I recommend? Now, I always recommend to my home service clients, this part's kind of specific to home service, $30 to $50 a day to start. Any less, you can start with like $1 a day probably. I don't know what the minimum is, $1, $5. You can start really low, but the lower you start, the less data you're going to get back. The longer it's going to take you to get feedback and optimize your campaign from Facebook, because every dollar you spend is directly in relation to how many people you can reach. I'm not going to go into how the Facebook algorithm puts stuff into people in front of people and how much they charge you and what that metric is called, CPM. But with $30 to $50 a day, I found that for most home service businesses, that gives them enough exposure every day to get a lead or two in a day or once every other day, and also give them enough data for them to look at their campaigns and audit their campaigns. We're not going to go over auditing performance in this one. I'll make another video in the future about auditing your campaigns, but it gives them enough data to iterate faster. So timeline expectations. This is probably the most important principle of this entire tutorial. Like, commit to this effort. Commit. So many people quit just before, what's the term? They quit before they strike gold, right? They're digging and digging and digging. They don't see anything, and so they leave. But the gold mine was just one shovel scoop away. And so you must commit. What I found works best is set a timeline, 90 days. I like to use 3 months. Set 90 days. Say, hey, for 90 days, I'm going to spend $30 a day, and I'm going to add 10% on top of it for any subscriptions I may need to keep up with this. So let's say I'm going to spend $3,000 in total, and this $3,000 is going to take me through 90 days of digital marketing for my business. And no matter what happens, if I get 0 leads or if I get 1,000 leads, I'm not going to stop for 90 days. Put that $3,000 aside. If you don't have it, go find a way to get it, and put it aside and just act like it's gone and execute the plan. So many people quit too early. So I'm going to leave that there. That is the most important principle of this entire thing. If you do this for a week or 2 days and you get no leads and you turn it off, you're going to fail. Guaranteed. So don't do that. Now, here's some key terms for you to understand. So here is an example of a Facebook ad. And we have a few things here. Creative, you'll hear the term creative. Some people refer to creative as the overall like ad as in general, and some people refer to the creative as like the actual picture or the media in this example. Not super important for you to understand that terminology, but primary text is the sort of the caption that's here that goes with the ad. You have the headline down here, which is this emboldened text, and then you have a description, which isn't shown here, but it's typically a smaller text that's put under here where you can say like click learn more or sale ends soon, whatever it is. In some placements, it doesn't even show up, and it actually doesn't even show up in here, probably because they didn't configure it. And then you have the call to action. Now, the call to action is the learn more button. There's multiple call to actions like get offer, get quote, whatever. We always just use learn more. We found that that's worked best in our campaigns, so that's something you could test on, right? When I say test and iterate, What I mean, this isn't a testing video, but what I mean is you can take one of these factors here and run a test. Let's say, hey, what if I change the picture? How does this ad perform? What happens to my cost per lead? What happens to my click-through rate, right? What if I change the call to action from learn more to get offer? Am I getting more clicks on that? Stuff like that. You can run those tests. I recommend changing one thing at a time when you're running the test. And depending on your budget will depend on how long you let that test run before you determine a winner and then just go with that and implement it in your campaign. Now, campaign structure. This is going to make more sense as we go into it, but really simple terms, you have 3 layers to a campaign, to a Facebook ads campaign. And actually, most ads work this way, whether it's TikTok, Facebook, or even Google. So you have a campaign level, which defines the objective. And in this case, we want leads. So we're going to have a lead objective. And then you have the ad set level where you have audience placements, where you want to place the ad, budget, scheduling, targeting, that kind of stuff is configured in the ad set. And then you have the actual ads themselves, which is the picture I showed you up here. That's where you put all that stuff in there. And you select, hey, what's the call to action? We're going to send them to a lead form and yada, yada, yada. You'll see. We're going to dive in and do this practically. There's 2 main kind of media types that you can add into a Facebook ad, and there's some more like carousels and stuff like that, but static images, and then you have video media. So I'm going to show you an example of some static images. Now, I'm going to share this with you so that you could take it yourself. And this is what I was saying, like you were going to look at this and say, wow, like this is just super simple and these ads are ugly, right? And quick disclaimer, I pulled these photos from Google, so I don't have rights to this. Don't run these ads. If you download these and use them, please replace the images here with your own. Now, this stuff's super simple, right? It looks ugly, but I'm going to tell you a trick. So yellow and black and red and white do really well for some reason. I've created wazoo ads I've paid people to come up with nice things and make things pop and add filters and stuff. And for some reason, these basic ads tend to do the best. So leave it up to you. This is one thing you can test. I'm going to provide this link in the handout. You can use this. If you're new to Canva, this Canva is an amazing tool, Canva.com. If you go in here, I don't have a referral code or anything, but use this service. It is very helpful. There are tons of tutorials on the internet on how to use this stuff, but go ahead and click the link, download it, and use it yourself. Now, video media, this is a hack, right? Let's go ahead and watch one I made just for this company. Let's do this. Let's do this together live.
Are you tired of your house and driveway looking dull and dirty? Worry no more. We have the solution for you. We will clean your house from head to toe, including your driveway, walkways, siding, windows, gutters, roof, and more. Delivering fast and easy exterior cleaning, blasting away dirt, mold, and grime from your house exterior, leaving it spotless and fresh. But wait, there's more. For a limited time, book any home wash with us and get your driveway cleaned absolutely free. Click the link below to learn more.
Millennial, and I'm a digital native per se, but I don't know how to create those, and that'll take me so long to create if I did it myself. But that is an example of a video that I paid somebody $55 to make for me. And they did a great job, right? And I didn't have to provide any of the media. They went out and they found the media. They used a combination of stock footage and a library of footage that they have in their repository. And I used a website called Fiverr.com. And I have the preferred vendor highlighted here, so the link will be here for the preferred vendor. And the exact job description is actually down here, exactly how I asked for the job. Now you can come here and copy and paste this with that exact vendor, pay $55. I don't know if his pricing is going to be the same, but it's probably not going to be much more than that. And I think he'll actually create 3 videos for you with 3 different intros that you can run, and it's done in like 24 hours. So that's exactly what I did for this. You can do the same. You don't have to spend time trying to figure out how to make a TikTok video and go out and film all this stuff. It's always better if you film stuff for you and organic to your company, but it's not necessary starting out. This is like the shortcut. This is a hack to get started immediately before you have all that content for yourself. So hopefully that's a little gem for you to take home with you. Now, I'm done talking. Not really, but I'm going to talk and I'm going to get through all the technical stuff. Enough with the discussion. Now, first things first, we need to create an ad account. So if you remember in the last video, we were in the Meta Business Manager or the Meta Business Suite. And this is where we're managing our entire business. We don't recommend you go through your personal account to try to make an ad account and attach a page. We recommend you go to business.facebook.com, create a Meta Business Suite account, and manage everything you do from here. When we created this page in video 5, we showed you how to connect the page to the Meta Business Suite. So if you come here to settings on the bottom left, we are going to go ahead and create an ad account. So click on, if accounts is not expanded, expand accounts, click on add accounts. And then we are going to add one, and we are going to create a new ad account. We are going to name this Fets Wash Houses. We are in the Eastern time zone. If I can just find one, not that it matters for this example, but let's try to find EST. Next, agree to the terms, create ad account. It might ask me to add a payment method. I'm going to try to skip it. I recommend that you add a payment method. I'm going to skip it here, but you should add a payment method right here because you're going to run ads, you're going to need to pay Facebook. So that's awesome. We got that. So another thing we're going to do is, last video we created a pixel, and it's under here in datasets. We need to connect this dataset to that ad account. So if you click the dataset that we created, if you don't know what I'm talking about, go to the last video, video 9, and I'll show you. And go to connected assets, and we're going to add connected assets and other business assets such as an ad account, and check that ad account we just created and add it. This is going to give us the ability to select this pixel whenever we create our ad later on. So now if we come in here and let's refresh this, sometimes things need to be refreshed in the Meta Business Suite. I am going to go ahead and pull up the ad account. So let's see if it behaves with us. Open an ads manager. So for some reason when I'm recording I can't click this button. So I'm going to go ahead and open this on my separate window, and I'll drag it up here in a second. So bear with me. Let's see if I can find it. Awesome. Here we go. Right. So we are now inside of the ads manager. You can go to adsmanager.facebook.com. and you should pop into this. If not, that button should work eventually. I think it just happens whenever I'm recording. It has something to do with how my screen is taken over. But we are here. It's asking us to add a payment method because we should have. And then it's going to ask us, do we do any politics? We do not. We're just trying to wash some driveway. So now we're in here. Let's check. We got 1, 2 things completed. Let's get to the exciting stuff. So we're going to go in here and we're going to create a campaign. This big green button, we're in the campaign section. You see what I said earlier? You had campaigns, you had ad sets, and then you had ads. That's that hierarchy I was explaining. But this wizard, this green button, is going to walk us through the entire process step by step. So we'll go ahead and create. And then we are going to select the campaign objective. Now, here is a point that I'm not going to go through every single one of these objectives, but today we're going to be working with the lead objective. A common thing I see contractors doing, home service companies doing, is engagement objectives so they can get messenger messages, right? I see that this results in a super low cost per action, it's called, not a cost per lead. And I've also seen marketing agencies call these cost per actions leads. So anytime somebody clicks this, it sends them an automatic message and it counts that like as an action, and they're calling those leads, which I guess if it's an opportunity, you can call it a lead. I just simply don't like this. Engagement means different things to different people. If you read this, it says get more messages, purchases through messaging, video views, post engagement, page likes, or event responses. In my opinion, I read this as Facebook presenting this in front of people who are most likely to engage with your ad, like you, follow you, post a comment and stuff like that. We see a lot of weird stuff with comments and messages. I just stay away from it, but you can try this. And you have a chatbot. I showed you how to build a chatbot in video, I don't know, 6. I think 6. I showed you how to build a chatbot. So you can do messenger ads and then just ignore all the spam that comes in and have the bot qualify the ones that come in from Messenger. It may result in a cheaper cost per lead. This is where you go through and do your iteration in those 90 days and test. But today we're going to go with lead ads because we created a lead form in step 5, in video 5, and we're going to use that today. So let's go ahead and click continue. And I never clicked use recommended settings. Now, why do I do this? It could be fine. I don't know. But sometimes Facebook likes to sneak some stuff in there for you that kind of makes you spend more money. And I don't want to let them do that. So I just go manual and continue. And I name this, let's say, cold traffic driveway cleaning, right? Because we're going to offer here, this is just an example, we're going to offer free driveway cleaning with any house wash, right? So I'm just going to name it that way. It is important for you to have a naming convention, but it's not super important for you to understand why you're not running this for multiple people, but have something that you can track, and especially if you're going to test this across multiple iterations, you want to be able to identify what did well, what did bad. So we're not going to have any special ad categories. If you were doing like real estate ads, you would come here and select housing. If you were doing credit ads or employment ads, you would have to select these special ad categories, but pressure washing, you're good to go. You don't need to select anything. And we are going to come in here and we're going to set the budget at the ad set level. Now, there's two places you can set the budget. One is here at the campaign level. So if we were spending $30 a day, we can put it in here. And then the different ad sets we create, Facebook would automatically divvy up the budget to which ad set is performing best. Now, the reason I don't like doing that to start out is because we're going to run different ad sets in order to test this, right? So we want to be able to make sure the money's being spent equally across the ad sets, right? So we're going to turn that off for now. And we're not going to mess with the A/B test. You can do this as well. Read up on it. They have a help article. It's an effective way to test ads as well, but we're not going to go in that today. So let's go to next. And we're going to test two ad sets today. So we're actually going to test interest targeting and broad targeting. And what do I mean by interest and broad? Interest means that I'm going to tell Facebook, hey, find some people that are interested in like landscaping or home improvement. And then I'm going to have another ad set that just says, hey, you pick, Facebook. Go find people in the area that I'm telling you about, and then you pick. So let's come in here and let's name this. We're going to name this interest targeting. We're going to choose 25 plus. That's the age, because most homeowners are the people wanting their house washed. So I'm going to say, hey, they're 25 years old and above because they probably own a home, or maybe they own a home, but the likelihood that the 18-year-old owns a home is probably unlikely. And we are going to say dynamic creative. Now, I'm going to show you how to use a setting here called dynamic creative, which means that we're going to throw a whole bunch of video, like a combination of videos and pictures that I just showed you, and we're going to let Facebook choose which one to use. I like starting that way, and then what I'll do is I'll pick a winner later on, and then I'll duplicate the ad set or create a new ad set where I'm just running the ad that won, right? So it's not necessarily a test, but it's kind of a test because it's letting Facebook use its algorithm to present the right thing in front of the right people. Now, up here in the right-hand corner, you'll see you need to accept terms and services, so you can go ahead and accept it. You only have to do that once. But here we go. Conversion action or conversion location, we're going to do instant forms. That's what we're focused on here. The Facebook page, make sure you have the right Facebook page selected. This is the Facebook page. And then right here is, in the last video I showed you about the Facebook pixel. And right now we don't necessarily have any data here. But this is where you would come in and you can say, hey, I want you to optimize for estimates set. Now, we don't have data in here, so we can't choose that. So I typically start with maximize number of leads up front. And then let's say 60 days in, maybe you have enough leads where you can come in here and say maximize number of conversion leads. And then you would say, hey, I want to optimize based on this stage, qualified lead, estimate set, close deal, whatever it is. But for now, we're going to stick to maximize number of leads. And this is something you can test. Again, that's another area where you can test for your own campaign. Dynamic creative, this is what I was talking about. You have to turn this on at the ad set level. Now, one thing that's kind of annoying is that once you have this on, you can't turn it off. So you actually have to create a new ad set if you wanted to go and just say, hey, I only want to run an ad with one single image, and I don't want you to have 4 images and a video to choose from. You'll have to create a new ad set, but no big sweat. We're going to go ahead and turn it on for now. It gives you that warning. And then because we have $30 to work with, we're going to run a test. And all we're testing here is interest versus broad. So I'm going to give this $15 budget. So it takes half the budget. We're going to spend half the budget here. And everything else is going to be the same. The only thing that's going to be different is targeting. Now, start date. People like to be scientific with this, and you probably should, but some people like to start like at midnight, right? So like we could start tomorrow at midnight so that we make sure we maximize our budget throughout the day. I don't pay much attention to this normally because I find that Facebook does a good job. Some people have a theory that like if you start right now at 4 p.m., Facebook will try to use your entire budget between now and midnight or 11:59 p.m. I haven't found that. I found that it's been pretty fair, so I leave it where it's at. Now, budget scheduling, I don't just run during business hours or any of that stuff. That's stuff that you can try if you want to. I let my stuff run 24/7, and Facebook knows where and when to spend the money, especially the further you go in. Now, locations. This part's important, especially because we're running a home service business. Right now, it has us targeting the entire United States, and you see our estimated audience size is huge, which would be great, but we can't pressure wash across the entire United States, so let's X that out. And then we are going to come in here and we are going to say Augusta, Georgia. And we are going to draw a circle 50 miles deep because we said we would go 50 miles out, right? I think in our lead form we asked if you're within 50 miles. So you choose your targeting for your specific location. In general, the more audience you have, the better. Now you see here you have estimated daily results of 4 to 16 leads. I don't believe anything that Facebook says here. It just has never been accurate. That'd be great if we had 4 to 16 leads a day, but I don't think we really are. So, and that'll start to change as we move things. So like right now we're going to move the minimum age to 25, and that's going to change. Oh, didn't change much. And then we're not going to exclude audiences, but we are going to come into here and add audience suggestions. And we are going to say edit detailed targeting, and we're going to search for home improvement. Awesome. And let's search for landscaping. Now, let's see. Sometimes it doesn't pop up. Maybe I misspelled it. There you go. Now you have like landscaping employers. You don't want to do that. You have landscaping job titles. You don't want to do that. Landscaping field of study. You don't want to do that. You want the interest, landscaping and gardening. Now, don't overdo it here. There are like thousands, probably tens of thousands of interest in here. But if you start adding too many, then you like don't know what's working. So I recommend adding 2 or 3, and then you can have this as another test point where you can remove one, add one. Sometimes we see that like for some reason skincare, I think that's the interest. Like a lot of people who buy things in the home service business are also interested in skincare. So it's kind of a weird correlation. So don't discount some of those weird off-the-wall correlations. Now, if we come in here, we're going to leave that alone for targeting and placements, advantage placements. Now, we're going to leave this at advantage placements, but this has a stigma with it. Because advantage placements also includes what's called the Facebook Audience Network. Like, I don't know if you've ever played like Candy Crush or something, and then you've been presented with an ad. Sometimes games like that, I'm not saying Candy Crush is, but they're like partners to Facebook or Meta, and they'll present your ad in those situations. And there's a theory that like Candy Crush would be incentivized to send Facebook leads, so some of them cheat the system and like fill out forms fraudulently so that they can show Facebook, hey, we're providing you value, keep sending us ads, we'll sell you ad space, right? So I think Facebook's gotten better about that. If you're seeing a lot of issues, I'll show you in the metrics where you can determine where your leads are coming from. And if you see a lot of stuff coming from like the partner network, then you can turn this off by clicking edit. But for now, I like to give Facebook the most leeway to do the most it can with its algorithm. We found that that's the fastest way to optimize your lead. You give the algorithm the most to play with. So we're going to leave it there for now. You can change these placements later on if you'd like. So let's go ahead and click next. We're done with the ad set. Now we have the ads, and we're going to call this dynamic, if I can spell, creative, and we'll call this V1. So because we use dynamic creative, we're actually going to like upload everything we got. We're going to throw the kitchen sink at it, and we're going to let Facebook choose. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to download all of this because I'm going to give it every single variation of this. And then I am also going to download my video, which I think I have here. You can't see it, I'm on another screen. Cool, we got it. So let's go back into our ads manager. We'll come in here, partnership ad. It was automatically off. I'll leave it off. Sometimes they add new things in here. Honestly, I don't even know what that is. It says run ads with creators and brands and other businesses. Your ad will feature both identities in the header. So like I've seen this recently where like, you know, sometimes ads show in the story and like it'll have your ad and then you click next and it's somebody else's ad. We have it turned off. So it was turned off by default. I'll leave it turned off. You don't have to connect an Instagram account. I actually don't even like connecting an Instagram account. I just use the Facebook page for everything. So we have our page selected. We selected that in the ad set. And here we go, single image or video, multi-advertiser ads. I leave that checked on, and let's select images. So we're gonna come in here and I'm gonna see if I can drag and drop all these images. And I can, that's good. And I'm gonna select all of these. Continue. And we're gonna remove that one. So we have a bunch of variations here. And let me see this. So I don't like this. So optimize creative for each person. Let's see if that's where it's at. Yeah, sometimes they add music to your ads, and that can be problematic. Sometimes the music isn't tasteful, but we'll leave it there for now. We're not too concerned with it. Now let's upload our video, our handy dandy video that we had. Let me find it here. Here it is. So select videos. And guys, I said you can use this video, but actually I'm not gonna. Don't use it, because at the end of it, it actually shows a. I'm gonna remove that from here. Create your own video, because it shows some branding from a client, and I don't want you guys to use that and put his name out there, and it's not going to be effective for you anyway. So just go ahead and create your own. Let's go in here. Videos processing. Sometimes it takes a second to process. We'll give it a second. Now, this stuff, here it is, it's processed. This stuff, I would let this run for about a week or so before you start to pare this down. I don't like using dynamic creative in the long term. Eventually, you'll create a new ad set, you'll pick a winner, and I'll show you how to see where most of your leads came from. So go ahead and continue. And now you have all that stuff in there. So Facebook's going to create variations for everything. Primary text. Now, I keep this super simple. Some people like to go in here and write some like dissertation with a bunch of emojis and stuff. I do use emojis, but essentially you want to call out your audience. I just go straight. Some people like call out a problem, like, are you sick of your driveway being the laughing stock of the neighborhood because your driveway's filthy? And then like, for a limited time, we're offer and then call to action. So I'm gonna make something up on the spot. You guys spend some time thinking here. You can use ChatGPT to help you. And I'm not saying these long wazoo primary texts don't work, but I've also found that the keep it simple, stupid principle applies here, and it's worked for me. So I could say Augusta. I'm not gonna say Augusta because we have a large area, but we do service a CSRA. So CSRA home owners, or you can just say homeowners. Are you tired of your driveway being the laughing stock of the neighborhood? And that's a little aggressive, honestly, but this is just an example. For a limited time, we are offering a free driveway cleaning. You can put a little sparkle here if you want or whatever. Now we're just being extra with any house wash. Click learn more to claim offer only valid for jobs booked this month. Right, super simple. This probably isn't the most optimized text here, but you get the idea, right? You can come up with something, call out your target audience, call out a pain point, give them an offer, and then tell them what to do. That's super important. Now, if you come down here, you can add text variations if you'd like, but I like to keep it simple for now. We're not testing headlines right now. We're not testing primary text. We're just testing targeting today. So let's come in here, and I like to just put in here something simple like free estimate, and then on description, offer ends soon. Cool. And if you want to be cute here, you can give it one of these, 3 carrots pointing at the learn more button, the call to action. Now, here in the display link, we're not going to worry about that, but in the call to action, we're going to use learn more. I explained why earlier. And then this is the form that we created earlier. So if you're just following this for the first time and you're wondering how did we get this form here, technically we could click create form here and create one on the fly, but there's actually some important, you see we have 4 questions here, version 1. There's some important information in video 5 that I talk about with creating the form. So right here, we already created one. We're not going to go over again. Now, here's where we attached our pixel right earlier, and this is why we needed it. So we're going to go ahead and click web events, and there's no activity because we haven't done anything yet. And I like to leave offline events in here as well. If you selected conversion actions, there would be like CRM events in here that you can add. URL parameters. Now, this is important because Go HighLevel actually, let me show you attribution, and I'll include this support article. This support article. Attribution support article. Now, this may not seem important to you until it is, and then you're going to wish you had this data. But this support article outlines what you should set in these UTM parameters. I'm not going to go into the technicalities of UTM parameters, but just know you need to set these settings. And that way, later on, when you're inside of your Go HighLevel account, you can come to a contact and you'll be able to see exactly what ad they clicked on, exactly what creative they had, and what campaign they came from. So the answer is right here. This is what you need. So we're going to reference this when we fill this out. So we'll say build URL parameters. If you come here, campaign source or UTM source is Facebook_ad or FB_ad. Campaign medium, they want us to set the ad set name. So we can say ad set name. Campaign name is campaign name, makes sense. And then we have campaign content is the ad name. Makes sense. And then we're going to add a parameter because the campaign ID, I think, is the last one, is not there. So we're going to add it manually. ID. And then campaign ID. So what that's going to do is whenever you, let's see if we have a contact created in here. If you had a contact, I don't think we do. I think we deleted it. But if you had a contact, within that contact in the bottom right-hand corner, you'll have like a source, a session source first attribution, and if you hover over it, it'll tell you exactly where the lead came from. So I always do that. It's kind of one of those metadata things that is not necessary, but it will improve your tracking of what's working and what's not working. So if we come in here, we'll apply that, and then we're not going to publish yet, right? Because we're going to create another ad set, right? And we're going to remove the interest. Now you might be thinking, dang, do we have to do that all over again? No, you don't. You can take this action menu and click quick duplicate, and it'll actually just duplicate it right here. So we're gonna say this is broad targeting. We're gonna remove the copy from here, and we will come down to, so start dates in the past. So sorry about my notifications there. We'll click that. And then all we need to do is come into this targeting, and we are just going to remove the narrowed audience, and we should be good. Awesome. And yeah, we don't want to save that. Cool. Now come down here. Anytime you duplicate something, you want to check everything, because sometimes Facebook has a bad habit of changing settings. Like your budget would be a bad one if it changed it, and then your targeting will be another bad one if it changed automatically. And then also, like if your pixel, I see the pixel sometimes they just like don't attach it, and sometimes they choose a different Facebook form. So just come in here and make sure everything is selected like we want it, and at this point we would click publish. Now you can go to the campaign and click publish, and everything will be published. I'm not going to publish here because we did not add a funding source. Let me see if it even allows me to. Yeah, it's telling me to add a payment method. So I'm not going to publish it, but you get it here. That is exactly how you create your first ad, right? So we created the campaign, we created the ad set, we created the ad, and we actually have a test running, right? ABT, always be testing. We have a test running. We're going to see which one performs better, interest targeting and broad targeting. Now, remember I told you we're using dynamic creative, right? So we just fed it a bunch of stuff, and we don't know which one's going to do good. We're going to let Facebook decide. But what you can do here is I like to come up here and change this to performance and clicks. I find that gives me the best metrics. You can come in here and customize your metrics, but We don't have any data to go off of here, but I go to performance and clicks, and then just to the right, you can select placement, and you can see where it's been placed. And if this was actually running, you can select this. This would be not grayed out, image, video, and slideshow, and you can click that, and you can see which image generated the most leads, because it'll tell you in the results, and it'll show every single image in that video, and you can see which created the most leads. Now we can also look at, like, let's see, placements, and it's because we haven't run it, nothing's popping up, but you can see, let's see, there was like destination carousel card. There's other things. So as soon as we start running it, you'll even be able to see like what headlines. Oh, we didn't create multiple headlines. We didn't create multiple descriptions. So if you had multiple headlines, multiple primary text, multiple descriptions, you can come in here and you can show which ones got which conversion. So hopefully that's helpful. I know it's helpful. If you come down here, I'll provide this for you so you can go ahead and get your video created. Sorry, I planned to give you this video, and then I just noticed that there was an error when I was creating this. So it's fine. You can go and make your own. But hopefully this was helpful. I don't mean this to be a masterclass. I mean this for people to launch their first ad and get some leads. And people, if you do this and you do this for 30, 60, 90 days, I'm confident that you're going to make revenue beyond what you spend on marketing here. So hopefully you do, and if you do, please reach out to me if you're successful and share your wins with me. I love seeing that. Thanks for watching the channel. Thanks for watching this video. Thanks for sticking with me. Thanks for the support. Like, share, subscribe, everything I'm supposed to say. Have a nice day. Peace.